Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday and tuning in. Danny Ferrier from Danny Ferrier Coaching. I'd love to bring to light one of the conversations that I'm having to share with my business owners time and time again, because I notice that it is a challenge, especially in New Zealand, for business owners to be able to give feedback and have challenging conversations in a way that helps their team move forward and feel more connected rather than isolating someone and it being awkward. So today, just really diving into why it's important to have those challenging conversations, and also a couple of steps of how I teach my business owners how to do this in a way that helps them understand that you care and you really do have their best interests at heart. Now, I heard this funny quote and I absolutely love it because it makes so much sense in this case. You may have a heart of gold, but so does a hard-boiled egg. And as business owners, it's understanding how we can communicate that intention and how we can communicate that care so that we can get a better outcome. Some of the massive benefits of being able to have these challenging conversations is the people on your team start to recognize that their efforts are noticed and also that they are being challenged. Subconsciously, people want to grow. Nature is all about growth. We're either green and growing or we're ripe and we're rotting. And quite often people haven't been in an environment of growth because they've just been head down, bum up, doing the doing, and nobody has taken the time to care enough to give them feedback. But they can't understand this because they're just not used to being in these conversations because it hasn't happened to them very often. And quite often that's why there's the resistance. That's why people shut down, is because they've had bad experiences in the past and it doesn't help them to take on board the feedback and help them to grow. Another part of this is the side effect that it has with the rest of the team. When you're having challenging conversations with someone, helping that person to lift their standards and inspiring them to change, how people around that person start to feel that there is a real commitment to the standard and they start tightening up their belts as well. Another part to this is the longevity of a business. It's a massive, massive benefit when you are constantly developing your team members because you're willing to have those challenging conversations. Just what a completely different business you're going to be creating rather than letting your team rule you. There's a number of reasons why business owners can't have these challenging conversations initially. And the main reason is because of tall poppy syndrome and criticism that has happened as they were growing up. One of my clients, for example, she had a very challenging mother, and her mother only saw fault in what she was doing. And as a result of that, she never learned to give feedback in a way that helps the other person understand you care, because it was always perceived through the filter of negativity, criticism, and, to be quite honest, very unfair judgment. So how do you, as a business owner, understand what your blocks are? And that is through coaching. It's understanding when you have a fight or flight response and you freeze and you cannot say anything, where that behavior comes from. Where did you learn that, which is stopping you from being able to engage with someone, give them feedback, and potentially to have these more real conversations with your team members so that you can create an environment of people that are really learning and growing together. An example of what not to do in this situation is when you are a business owner and you are the leader of your team, focusing on how you feel in the moment is what stops people from being able to take action. because they haven't seen the bigger picture. They haven't recognized that these small and seemingly insignificant decisions of not having this conversation, how they are going to affect the overall business. So it's about recognizing that there is massive benefits in these small behaviors because it will contribute to the longevity of the business. And that is the success mindset, is knowing and truly trusting that you can and you will push through those barriers because you know that it is going to benefit your business long term and create more employment opportunities for other people as your business grows and develops, because your team is consistently upskilling themselves with your gentle and loving feedback. So how do we do this? The first part to this is making sure that you set up the scene. Somebody's had a big day, you've just had a hectic shift. That's probably not the time to talk to them. Put yourself in their shoes and make sure when you have a conversation with someone, you check in. Is now a good time, or would it be better for us to schedule something in? Having the understanding and compassion that right now is not the right moment is general self-awareness. It's knowing that that person doesn't have to take on board what you're saying right now, and that you can create time in your diary for it because you know that it's important. There's a general relationship rule as well that everybody needs to be fed, well rested, and not under the influence. And that applies here as well. You know, if it's just before lunchtime, it's probably not going to work as well, your gentle feedback, as after lunchtime. Make sure they're fed. It's probably best to do it in the morning. Check in. Did you have a good sleep? Are you feeling rested today? And then lastly, that they're not under the influence. It's not the conversation to take to the pub and have with your team member over a beer. It's definitely one to have in an environment where you know that you can connect with that team member. But setting up the scene is rule number one. Those are the basic fundamentals for helping your team member be in the right frame of mind before anything has even been said. The second part, which I alluded to earlier, is making sure that your intention is clear. Because you care about your team, it means you are going to give feedback in a way that resonates with them because you're caring about their development. And you do this by stating your intention. So step number 2, state your intention. Hey, I really want to give you some feedback of some of the behavior that I've been noticing. It might hurt a little bit, and I know it's hard to hear, but I'm doing it because I really care about your growth and I can see you moving to the next level. Stating the intention that you're doing it for them, that it's not about you, is a big difference and shift in energy. What quite often happens is business owners get an idea in their mind, oh, Sam hasn't been pulling his weight, he really needs to do more of X, Y, and Z. And then goes in with this, you need to listen to me mentality. But when you make it about the other person, when you think, okay, well, if Sam isn't performing, how's that going to be affecting him? It's an element of care that's going to help you to connect with that person, because you can help them understand how their behavior is affecting their lives, their work life, and also the team members around. So I trust that this was an important message for today, that being able to have those challenging conversations is really, really important, and noticing your own approach to it and what a tremendous difference it can make. Because as you show up and have more and more of these conversations, then it will become easier for you to be able to connect to your team members, because you are truly showing them that you care, that you want them to thrive, and that you want the business to be a place for people to keep on up leveling. And that makes you an incredible business owner with a foolproof plan. If you've got a team that is ready to grow, you can take them anywhere. I'm Danny Ferrier. Thanks for listening. Bye for now.